And good morning. Welcome back to another live. Today is our real estate investing with Tarek training and podcast. So I'm going to give it a second here while everybody starts hopping on with me. But today I want to talk about a few different things. Obviously, we're going to do our normal Q&A. But outside of Q&A today, I kind of want to talk about building habits. And building habits, I would say, is probably the key to my success. And building habits is extremely important because over time, once you build that habit, you continue to do it over and over and over. And then the goal is to keep adding new habits. And then by the time you're done adding all these habits and you're executing on your habits, you are so efficient throughout the day. So I'm just going to get started in a second here because I know we have a few more people hopping on. But in the comments, if you guys can just put where you're located right now, and let me know what type of real estate experience you guys have in the chat right there. Okay, so speaking of building habits, so let's think about the first habit I want to talk about. So the first habit actually I want to talk about is a sleep schedule. And this is a habit that I have never really been good with throughout my life because as an entrepreneur, when I was building all of this, I was working crazy hours. I wasn't sleeping. I had a broken schedule. I wasn't making time for my health. I wasn't making time for my fitness. So I want to talk about, in my opinion, one of the most important habits, and that is waking up in the morning. So this is what you guys got to understand. I am not a morning person. I don't like the mornings. I'm a night owl. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to change your cycle. So I'm going to tell you guys how I did it. So step one, I hate waking up in the morning. So I listened to this book called The Miracle Morning. So if you haven't read that book, check out the book, The Miracle Morning. Great book. And I picked up these little tips. And here was the biggest tip. I needed to stop hitting snooze. So here's what I did. I bought this crazy alarm clock. It's on Amazon. This thing is called The Bomb. So if you Google The Bomb alarm clock, you'll find it on Amazon. And this thing, it has a cord, and at the end of the cord, it has this like heavy metal and plastic pad. So in the morning, when this alarm goes off, it is so loud and so terrifying, you're not going to hit snooze. And here's why. So if you sleep in your bedroom, you want to know where you put your alarm? Well, you don't put it next to your bed. You have to plug that alarm in the bathroom. So in the morning when that thing is going off, and it is the loudest thing ever, you are running to that bathroom to turn it off before everybody in the neighborhood wakes up. So that's one. So you can't just reach over and hit snooze. We've taken that out of the equation. It's all about tricking ourselves to do what we know we need to do. So now the alarm is far away from you. You have to get up in the bathroom. So you hit the alarm, no hitting snooze. So the second that alarm goes off, you get up. Here's another thing. Changing your sleep schedule, it can be pretty challenging. And here's why. Most people say, I'm not a morning person. I don't want to wake up at 5. I don't want to wake up at 5:30. Well, I don't blame you. You want to know why? Because it has nothing to do with the time you wake up. It has to do with the amount of sleep we get. So for most people, we're used to going to bed at 11 or 12 o'clock. And then on a random day, we need to go to an airport and we have to wake up at 5 in the morning. And we are exhausted. Okay, just exhausted because our body is not used to waking up like that. So here's how I did it. And the first couple weeks, they were a little bit rough because your body has to adjust. So I wake up at 5:30 a.m. every morning, and I used to wake up at 7 a.m. And the difference is I used to go to bed at 12 o'clock at night, 12:30 at night, and now I fall asleep at about 10:45 and I wake up at about 5:30 in the morning, which gives me 6 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. So here's how it works. You got to set a wake up goal, wake up at the same time every day. So if you want to wake up at 5, if you want to wake up at 5:30, I don't care if you fall asleep at 9 p.m. I don't care if you fall asleep at 3 a.m. You still need to wake up at that same time. So here's what happens. Your first week or two of doing this, you are going to be exhausted. I promise, you're going to be tired. But that's because your body's adjusting. So as long as you keep waking up at the same time every morning, eventually at night, you're going to start falling asleep earlier. And it's very, very important to build that habit. So that's habit number one. So you guys got to work on your sleep schedule. Okay, so let's talk about energy for a minute. So you guys see me here. I'm talking all the time. I'm filming TV shows. I'm a dad and I have all this energy. Well, it wasn't always like that. Okay, so energy is very important. So I'm going to tell you where I get all my energy from. So one, I get it from sleep. Two, I get it from exercise. So throughout my life, I've exercised on and off. If you watch my shows, you've seen me gain 60 pounds. You've seen me lose 60 pounds. Because I love food, man. I do. I love burritos and pizza and burgers. Like I love all that stuff. So I made fitness a priority. And also, here's the thing with fitness. Instead of just telling myself, like in the past, oh, I'm going to go work out. Oh, I want to get in shape. Oh, I have a goal to lose 10 pounds. Here's what I did. I didn't set any goals. I didn't have any expectations. I just had one rule. My one rule was making fitness a part of my lifestyle. Meaning it's just something I do, like driving a car or flipping houses or filming TV shows. It's just something I do every single day. So once I convinced myself that I'm changing my lifestyle and I started going every single day, the first couple weeks, you guys, it's not that much fun. It's just like house flipping. It's always more difficult at the beginning. But as time goes on, you're going to start enjoying the gym. And here's why. You start getting inspired. You start getting motivated. Your clothes starts fitting better. You start looking better in the mirror and you inspire yourself. And it builds confidence because you're proving to yourself that you can do what many people can't. So if I were you, I'd get started on the sleep schedule, wake up at the same time, and eventually you're going to start falling asleep earlier at night. And in the morning, I'm a big believer, go to a gym. Okay, and if you don't go to a gym, at least go walk your neighborhood for a couple of miles, get outdoor, get fresh air, get that body moving, because that's where our energy comes from, man. We're humans. If you look at how we lived, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 years ago, well, we weren't sitting at computers and driving cars. Like we were all starving and we were hunting for food, right? So we are active beings. We need to be moving. Our minds need that, okay? So, and here's the beautiful thing about the gym. Like even me, like when I first start going to a new gym, it's a little uncomfortable. You're like the new person there. And guess what? Nobody even thinks about you. And here's another great thing about the gym, especially if you want to be a real estate investor. If you go to the gym at the same time every day, well, guess what everybody else at the gym does? They go to the gym at the same time every day. So over time, you see the same people every morning. You start building relationships. You get to know each other. And guess what? Now you have more people to network with, especially for real estate investing. So I'm a big believer in the gym, big believer in a sleep schedule. And here's another thing. So I went out and I did a full vitamin panel. So I'm a thyroid cancer survivor, testicular cancer survivor, and I've been through a lot of stuff with my health. So I went out and I did this vitamin panel. My vitamin panel came back and I was deficient in all of these different things. So then based on that report, I figured out with my doctor, well, what vitamins do I need? So now if I'm low in D3, if I'm low in B6, well, I take supplements for that. I take like 30 vitamins a morning now. And guess what happens? So now I go do that same test and all of my lab work, everything's firing almost at 100% because all my levels are perfect. And this is where I get all this energy from. And it wasn't always like that. You have to work. You have to work on yourself. You have to want more for you. You have to inspire yourself. You got to motivate yourself. You got to do it for yourself. You got to do it for your family. Because I'm telling you, these little habits are the steps to finding huge success. So now imagine this. Like I said at the beginning of this call, one habit created, you create another habit, then another habit. Next thing you know, you have multiple habits throughout the day that are going to lead you to your goals. So now let's talk about the real estate investing aspect. Well, you're going to sleep at the same time every night. You're waking up at the same time every morning. You're getting exercise every morning. As soon as you're done with your exercise, say it's 7:30 in the morning, it's time to get to work, right? So if you don't have a job, you got to jump right into real estate, finding deals. Remember, 90% of your time, it needs to go towards finding deals. If you have a job, then you got to go to work. But after work, you got to come back and we got to start looking for deals. So just remember that. As a real estate investor, 90% of our time is finding deals. All right, so I've been talking quite a bit and I've been talking quite fast as usual. So I'm going to look back at some of our questions here. Okay. All right. Laura, question. Is it still a good time to do flipping? I'm a member of a local real estate investing club, and club members are saying that right now, due to how the market is changing, we should be wholesaling now and not flipping. Okay, actually, that could be considered decent advice, but here's the thing: you always want to be wholesaling because you want to always be making money. Okay, and guess what? If you're going to flip a house, well, the first part of that process is the same as wholesaling. So if you get to the point where you have a decision to wholesale it or flip it, well, then you just look at your numbers. If I told you, Laura, today that you can get a house for 300,000 that needs 100,000 in work, which means you've spent 400 and it's going to be worth 800, would you flip that house or would you wholesale that house for 50,000? Well, you'd probably flip that house. So just remember, it's a deal by deal scenario. It just depends on the math. What's up, Jim from Washington? Good morning, Alicia from California. Sonia Collins. Would you buy a mobile home park? There's one in a mobile home park 2 towns over from me for 20K. I can pay cash for it. It's only 1 bedroom and 1 bath, but would generate rent. Okay, so I understand the logic here and why it sounds appealing because for only $20,000 you can get rent. But here's a big thing to understand. The most valuable asset we have is our time, right? So then we need to choose where we spend our time. So if you're spending your time, trying to buy a $20,000 mobile home and manage this thing to get a little bit of rent, well, it takes time away from going and finding a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 property that might bring you back, $50,000 or $100,000 in return. So for me, it's very important to choose your time or to use your time wisely and use it on activities that are going to bring the highest return. And based on my experience and knowledge, the highest return is going to be real estate, tangible, ownable real estate. How's wifey and baby doing? Well, she just walked out the door taking the dog for a walk, but we're on baby watch right now. Yesterday was my last day filming, so the baby's due any second. So I'm on standby. So I don't know. It's coming soon though. Okay. All right. So what did you guys think about the habits and waking up early and getting on top of our vitamins and getting exercise? In the chat, does anyone have a morning routine? Does anyone want to start working out? Is there any reason why you don't work out? Okay, so this is Laura. If I'm really brand new, would buying a deal from a wholesaler to flip my first property be a good idea? Again, this is what we have to remember. It's all about the math. Laura, it would be a good idea if it was a really good deal. It would be a really bad idea if it wasn't a good deal. So it just depends on the property. That's why, Laura, every Thursday night at Homeschooled, we actually have free deal review. And what it is Laura, you go out there, you get a property, you want to buy it and flip it, but you don't have the experience. You're like a deer in headlights. What do? For free on Thursday night, you bring it to my team at Tarek Buys Houses. My two main guys are the one who's running it, and they're going to analyze that deal with you and give you their professional opinion on it. So and if you're not a part of Homeschooled yet, Laura, book your free strategy session. There's a link right there in the chat. Because it's just so valuable, when we walk you through the process of evaluating a property, because that's where you really learn, because you don't want to go make offers or buy properties that aren't the right ones, right? So you want to make sure that you have another set of eyes on it, and we're here for you to do that. Okay. Sorry, the messages scroll really fast away from me. Hmm. Alicia, I have I have two potential flips. Oh, my messages are coming in too fast. Sorry, everybody. I have two potential flips come my way before this. Can I please email them to you? Uh, Alicia, you can email those to Adam at tarekbuyshouses.com. Alicia, 10 calls before 9 a.m. I love it. An important metric is remember, at least, at a minimum, if you're part-time, 20 conversations a day with either real estate agents or homeowners. If you're full-time, I mean, shoot for 50. But, most people, 20 to 30 is where they land if they're really putting in work. Sonia, I work out, but it's hard because I have a full time job and trying to look for flips. I'm exhausted by the end of the day. Yes, I totally understand that, Laura. I totally understand that, Sonia. But that's why it's building the habit. So I promise you, if you really get your sleep schedule in line, you're gonna find extra time. I promise. It's incredible how it works. And you gotta own and master your morning routine. You wake up, you get ready, you go exercise. Like that's the morning routine. And by 7:30 a.m. you're done for the day. You've had your breakfast, you've taken your vitamins, you've got your exercise, and you're ready to charge. Okay. Melody, what about land investments versus, sorry, this keeps scrolling. What about land investments versus existing home purchases? I mean, I would not be a fan of you going out there and investing in land because land isn't going to produce cash flow. Land is just land. So if you're looking to make money with real estate, I believe you want it to cash flow. So if you're going to buy land, make sure there's a building on it. Cindy, hi, put an offer in on a foreclosure. Bank wants highest bidder. Not sure how high we should counter. It needs 30K in works. Comps are good, but will they drop soon? I'm in Pasadena, California. Cindy, those are a lot of really good questions, and this is like all the type of training that we do at homeschooled. We really get into it. You get a one-on-one coach. We have deal review. So like if you are interested in this, I would definitely schedule a strategy session for yourself. Daniel, I started waking up at 4:30 a.m. 4 days a week, and it has almost doubled my productivity. Daniel, 100% correct. I don't know how, I don't know why, but once you master that morning sleep schedule, man, things really start coming together. Do you need a real estate agent to set up the assignment agreement? Oh, great question. So, in some states in this country, in order to do a wholesale transaction, you need to have a real estate license. And there are a handful of states that require this. So, before you decide to wholesale, do some research online. And, like for me, if I wanted a wholesale, I would Google, if I want a wholesale real estate in California, do I need a real estate license? So if you live in Oklahoma, you Google. If I live in Oklahoma, do I need a real estate license to wholesale real estate? I know Illinois, for example, is a market where you have to have a real estate license. Okay. From K, one rental property owned, takes vitamins every day. That's fantastic. Sleep is not easy because you have horses and a lot of responsibilities, and that's it. And that's why it's all about being extremely efficient with your time blocking, reading books, getting exercise. It's all the stuff we know we need to do. And guess what? I've known we need to do this for a long time. I finally just said, you know what? No more excuses, Tarek. You're going to do it. So now I do exactly what I'm supposed to do. There's no secret to success, you guys. Like all the information's out here. It's just whether we're willing to suck it up and do it or not. You know what I mean? Like We know, like, if we all wanted six packs, like, we could get six packs. I mean, it's going to be miserable, but we could do it, right? Okay, Abraham, I'm taking a look at expired listings in SoCal. What are your thoughts on expired listings? A lot of times, homes expire. Well, not that a lot of times, homes expire because they're overpriced. That being said, many times homes are overpriced because the real estate agents tell the sellers to price them wrong. So there are deals in the expired listing, but it is a needle in a haystack. So expect to have maybe 1,000 conversations with expired listing homeowners before you start getting some deals. So just set massive goals. So you don't think you're going to go find success in a week. Like, give yourself time. Okay, 1,000 conversations with expired listings. If you talk to 1,000 expired listings, I'm almost positive you're going to have some deals. What is the recommended minimum down payment? Again, Melody, that is a case by case scenario. On my flips, I try to go as little down as possible. A lot of times I go zero down. When it comes to traditional financing, a lot of times lenders want 20% down. If it's commercial, they want 30% down. So it's a case by case scenario. What's up, Eddie? Good morning. Thank you. I saw you last night on the webinars. Good seeing you. I'm sure I'll see you on Deal Review tonight. Melody, can you do this part-time until I can afford to quit full-time job? Absolutely. That's how most people get started. So like when I first started flipping houses, I still had a job too, but my job was selling houses. So I had buyers, I had sellers, I had listing appointments, I had showings. So when I wasn't doing real estate agent activities, I would put my real estate investor hat on and I would do those activities. So it's 100% normal to transition out of your job as you're becoming a real estate investor. But typically at the beginning, yeah, you're going to do both. Ed Ward, for buy and hold, do you recommend using other people's money or personal money in the deal? If you have money, use your money. If you run out of money, use other people's money. We want to buy as much incredible real estate as humanly possible, and then we wait. Sonia, my partner and I put an offer on a townhouse and got it. Was an attorney review, but backed out of the deal because rehab costs was much higher than I thought, and I realized I would have lost money because I couldn't sell that high. My partner wants to pursue it. Do you think if we can get 2 or 3 contractor bids and show bank along with comps, they might lower their price, or are we wasting our time? They might lower the price. So you need to build a very strong case on why you need a reduction. So show it's going to cost this much money to fix it up. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars in closing costs and commission to sell it. It's going to take you 6 months to work on the house with a monthly carrying cost of X. So show them every single expense you're going to incur and show them, listen, bank, if I buy it at this price and I flip it at this price, well, based on what you want me to pay, I'm losing $20,000. So in order for this deal to work, I need a $50,000 price reduction. Kimberly, what do you mean by expired list? Okay, expired listings. So here's an expired listings. Let's just say Tarek El Musa is a real estate agent. I list my neighbor's house, Bob. He wants to sell his house. So I sign a listing contract for 90 days. And over the next 90 days, I try to sell the house. Let's just say I have no luck. I can't sell the house. Well, after 90 days, the contract's over. In the MLS, the multiple listing service, it changes the status from active and available to expired. So once a house has expired, that gives you the legal right to go solicit that property. But you can't solicit a property if it's already listed without going through the agent. How do you find a good lender that will work with you? Great question, Melody. So within Homeschooled, we've actually vetted and we have multiple preferred lenders that are the best to be working with newer flippers and our students. So if you haven't scheduled your strategy session, I really urge you to do that. It's totally free and it's totally valuable. What's the biggest excuse, fear you hear on why people don't jump into wholesaling? Well, there's really only one. They don't know what to do. I say this all the time. You can't do something if you don't know how to do it. So if you want to do it, you better learn how to do it. And that's exactly why I created Homeschooled. Have you ever invested in Georgia? Yes, Pamela. A couple years ago, I bought 18 rentals at one time in Georgia. A lot of them were newer construction, some beautiful houses I bought, and they've almost doubled since then. Laura, are you foreseeing home prices dropping over the next 6 months? I think there is a very good chance of that happening. Um, but at the same time, that's not all markets across the country. So, different markets are doing different things at different times. Paul, what are your thoughts on auctions and foreclosures? Are they worth pursuing? What kind of financing is recommended for these kind of deals? Well, Paul, you don't get financing on those deals. So if you're buying at auction properties at the courthouse, you got to show up with cashier's checks. And I've done that before. It's extremely competitive, but there are definitely deals there. But it takes all of the cash to buy the house. So if you want to go bid on a $400,000 house, well, you got to show up with $400,000. Tarek, will you seller finance on the Big Bear property? Um, I'd consider it. I'd consider it. Email Adam at targetbuyshouses.com. Let him know you spoke with me, and then we'll take it from there. All right, all right. Uh, Someone asked, will prices drop in California? I think there's a pretty good chance, but it doesn't drop overnight. It takes a little bit of time, and that's why it's important to get in and out of these deals quick, right? So the goal is to buy a house, get it fixed and sold, within 4 to 6 months. That way you're protecting yourself because, even when the real estate market was crashing back in 2008, it didn't happen overnight. It takes time. Dondra, these sessions are really helpful. I really appreciate that because these sessions are really about helping you guys. My mission is honestly like I want all of you to find success with real estate. Like, there's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're listening to me. There's a reason why you're watching your shows. And I'm just a guy that I cannot sit on the sidelines. Like, if I want to do something, I have to get in the game. So, like, if you guys are watching right now, like, get off the sidelines. Let's get started, man. Opportunities here. We got one shot at this life. Every second's a valuable second. So let's not waste them. All right, guys. Well, I had a great time today, talking about habits and the importance of routines and owning that morning schedule and taking vitamins and supplements and getting daily exercise. So these are the things I want you guys to work on. And listen, I'm serious. Like, I'm telling you this stuff because I do this stuff, and I do this stuff because I get the results. So, like, trust me, this stuff works. So do this for you. Work on your sleep schedule. Get into a fitness routine. Make it a lifestyle. Eat healthier food. Take your vitamins, take your supplements, and just watch yourself grow. You're going to turn into a whole new human. So, all of you have a fantastic week. And most likely by the next time I talk to everybody, I will be a father of three. So, wish me luck, and I will talk to you guys soon.